2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
On the show today, well, we had a bunch of footballers for starters because football season is upon us.
Yeah, we did have a game delayed. It would have normally been tonight. But anyway, that said, Campbell Brown, we catch up with him. I don't think we've ever had a chat to him now.
No, lovely bloke. Our brand new docker was unveiled this season. Jordan Clark is going to be reporting from Purple Land.
Yes, that'll be good. What's got your goat? Now, we've got a whole heap of ladies who want to complain about their husbands and just the men just stand back and, you know, they accept it. They don't complain back.
We gave everybody the opportunity to call in, but it turns out it's only men that do things wrong. Sean,
I shrug my shoulders here.
Early in the show, we played a round of Who the AFL Is That, and our special guest was Will Schofield.
Yeah.
So we do have a chat to him as well. He's a ripping bloke, and he's going up against you in a bit of a swim-off.
Yes, we're having it very shortly, and being caught in a natural disaster.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast. Who the AFL is that?
What a superstar he is.
All right, here we go. Footy's back with a bang tomorrow. One more sleep, everybody. And we're about to give away $250 cash and a 12-month KO subscription so you can watch everything.
Brilliant. We've got an ex-AFL player on the line ready to answer your questions. Remember, it is an ex-AFL player.
Hello, ex-AFL player.
Hello.
Okay, didn't give too much away then.
All right, our first contestant is Dan. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Dan, you're a bit, you're breaking up a bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
that's
got you
better.
now, mate.
Much
Got you
better,
now, mate.
much better, Dan. Okay, Dan, you may ask our ex-AFL player a question that requires a yes or no answer. Get a yes, you can ask another question. You can have a guess at any time. Get a no and we'll move on to the next person, okay? What's your question?
Have you played for WA team? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Straight
WA
out of the
team.
gates. Okay.
Good start, Dan.
Dan, ask another question.
Have you played on more than one team? No.
One team guy.
One team guy, like
That's
you,
fantastic.
Sean. All right, we move on to Belinda in Mandurah. Morning, Belinda.
Good morning.
Hi, Belinda.
We know he's played for one WA team. What is your question?
Are you a premiership player?
Yes.
Well, that rules out one
Yes,
club.
it does rule out one club, and it really nails this
It
down.
does. All right, Belinda, you can ask another question.
Have you won a Norm Smith medal?
No.
No Normie Smith at this stage.
Great question,
Well, not forever, really, because he's retired. But
Okay, thanks, Belinda. Damon, hello.
Good morning.
All right, we know that he's a premiership player for a WA team. What is your question for our ex-AFL player?
Was he a midfielder? No.
No, not a
he
midfielder.
was not a midfielder.
Popular question this week, the midfield question.
13, 24, 10, if you want to be a part of this, because we need more callers
Yes.
to ask some questions.
We're churning through them. Robin, hello.
Good morning. How are you?
All right,
Hey, Robin.
we know he's a premiership player for a WA team and he only played for one team. What is your question for our ex-AFL player?
Did you play in the forward line?
No.
The high-flying forwards, they get paid all the money.
And all the glory.
All the glory.
Ashley's in Caversham. Hi, Ash.
Hello.
Ash, not a midfielder and not a forward. Okay, what is your question for our ex-AFL player?
I'm stuck here. Did you play in the most recent premiership that they won?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
2018,
did.
Nat, you were along there.
I was there. It was the greatest day of my life.
There you go.
All right, Ash, you get to ask another question.
This could take a while, Ash.
Good.
Quick.
Are you a right footer?
Are you a right footer?
Yes.
Oh, he's a
Okay.
right footer. Well, that's nailed it down too.
All right. Ash, keep going.
Do you have brown hair?
No, yes, maybe.
I mean, I think we can say you did. Would that be fair?
Yeah, we're going to pay that, Ash. We're going to pay that.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
It's a limited pool now. Yeah.
It is beautiful. No hair.
Quick. We're running out of
Can I
time.
take a guess? Wirrapunda?
It is not David Wirrapunda.
And he didn't play in the 2018.
No, he did
grand
not.
Final. All right, we move on to Mel in Safety Bay. Good morning, Mel. We've got somewhere, Mel. We know that he played in the 2018 Premiership.
Yes, he did.
And we know that he is not a forward and not a midfielder
And we know he had brown hair,
back in the
which
day.
is very, very important.
What's your question, Mel?
I'm just going to take a stab.
Go for it.
Is it Dom Sheed?
No.
No.
It's not Dom Sheed. He's out with a knee injury at the moment, also out of
Yes.
contract at the end of the season.
You know why it
Midfielder.
wasn't Dom Sheed and also not an ex-AFL player.
And a midfielder, as this person
Yes.
rightly said.
Peter's in High Wycombe. Hi, Pete. Peter?
Pete?
Yes, sorry.
Yes, Pete. Okay, what is your question for our ex-AFL player?
Is it Will Schofield?
Yes, it bloody is.
Peter, you've done it. You've scored a $250 cash plus that 12-month KO subscription. It's the only place you can watch live Saturday footy every round this AFL season's on Fox Footy, available on KO Sports. All yours, Peter. Well played.
Well done, Peter.
Yay, thank you so much.
Too easy.
And good morning to you, Scully. How are you?
I mean, come on, forwards, midfielders,
I know.
on balls.
I
Like, what
know.
is
The
going on with
backmen
these
just don't
questions?
get any glory, do they?
Don't get any hair either. Yeah, good to be with you guys. How are you both?
We are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you, the backmen, in your mind, don't get the applaudance they deserve. But when I think about the West Coast Eagles or any other team, these days you're getting some high profile. Jeremy McGovern, he
Yes.
was one of the highest paid players in the AFL. Tom Barras has gone over to the East Coast now, going to
Chasing
play
the
trade
Bucks.
with Hawthorn.
Yep.
Mate, there's some big name players in the back line these days.
Honestly, Sean, if I charged a commission for
Yes.
the amount of players I held down for those two blokes in particular, who are now the highest paid players in the AFL, I'd be a rich man.
That's
but
true.
I'm not. I'm still out here grinding away.
Yeah.
Buddy, swimming a rot nest. Like, I've got bills to pay. These blokes have just cleaned me out.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah.
You are defending properly, and all they do is just
Yeah.
sag off their men and take marks. I
Yeah.
totally get it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So good. Hey, Scully, talk us through that. I said it was the greatest day of my life was watching you win an AFL Grand Final. Talk about the euphoria, and of course, the fact that 5 goals down early on and all tied up at half time, at three-quarter time. It was one of those epic Grand Finals. What's your reflection on it now, looking back?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones that it gets better. Like, it gets better the further you are away. Like, when
Yeah.
you're in and amongst it, I think people used to say to me, "Oh, it's the best game you ever played." And for whatever reason, I used to think, "Oh, like I've played heaps of games. I've played
Yeah.
way better games." But as I get further away, I do realise, one, it was the best game I ever played, and two, to have those sorts of memories, mainly with your mates. Like, I was definitely a fringe and selection player for
Yes.
most of my career. So to walk away after a game like that, to have like memories with your mates, like, that's the biggest thing. But the 5 goals down stuff, you don't see that in games really,
No.
let alone a grand final. So once again, to do that on the biggest stage, I was pretty chirpy out there on the day. So I've got some reflections on some of that too. I was pretty bullish even when we were 5 goals down, we're going to come back and win.
Yeah.
We did, but it was pretty close to not happening, so I think I would have had some apologies if Tennessee ended up flagging that goal.
And for it to be against Collingwood as well,
Oh,
it's
so
like a script was
sweet.
written.
So sweet. Oh, my God.
Well, I think like West Australian sides,
Yep.
I know Freo and West Coast is a big rivalry, but at the very least for Freo fans, we did beat Collingwood.
Yeah.
No one likes Collingwood.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, the chatter had been beforehand, had been like, oh, you know, it's West Coast aren't even going to show up, you know, that it's going to be an absolute walkover, and it turned into one of the most epic grand finals of all time.
Oh, it was an absolute ripper.
Yeah.
Now,
So good.
Now, Scully, you did mention the Port to Pub, which is happening next weekend, where there's a fierce rivalry between retired Fremantle players and retired West Coast
Who's the reigning
players.
champions, Sean?
The reigning champions are who,
Great
Scully?
question, Nat. Great question, Nat. Really good question. From my memory, it's West Coast, but also from my memory, I don't think Sean McManus was involved in the team last year.
No, that's right, because he went solo. He Robbie Williams went solo last year.
Yeah.
So
Selfish.
So how's the training going, Sean? How's the team? We've got some dramas, got to be honest with. Had someone pull out yesterday.
who? Name names. Name
really?
names. Who's let the team down?
It's Nick Stone.
Nick Stoney.
Nick Stone's pulled out. So, look, we're scrambling around. We're trying to find some sort of resemblance or like along the family line of West Coast, like seeing if anyone's an Olympic athlete that might have played for, the Eagles in Divi 4.
Yeah. Who's seen an eagle? Anything.
How's the Freo team looking? Give me a bit of insight. Sean.
Yeah,
What's happening with
it
Freo?
hasn't changed much from last year other than I'm in, and Andrew Foster, who played for us a few years ago, we were able to get him in. Because we need a few. You guys came in, Jamie McNamara came into the West Coast side, gave him a bit of youth. And Scully can swim like no time.
Joey, what's going on there?
I tell you what, so Sean's seen me swim 50 metres.
Yeah,
right?
50. Absolutely
And
lightning.
I can swim 50. I can swim 50 quicker than most. 51 metres and above, I get into a bit of trouble. As soon as the wall goes away, I'm like, oh, now what am I doing? So we'll be strong off the beach for the first 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
And probably the last 50. Do you know what I mean?
Scully, just to go over that, so are you starting, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Mitch White's out off the sand. What are you starting?
Oh, it'll be me,
Sean?
yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Nat, this is, just to explain this, the best swimmer and also the person who doesn't have the most pull in the WhatsApp gets made to swim off the beach because no one wants to do it. Ash McIntosh is one of our swimmers.
Yes.
He's a bit of a grumbler, so a full back, right? He's a bit of a grumpy man. He said basically for as long as he lives, he's never swimming off the beach. So Shawnee Max joined the short store as long as same as Mitch White.
Well, I did see Ashley McIntosh actually training on the weekend while I was in Roto. So he was in a bay next to me. He swam to his anchor point of his boat to check it and then back.
And then
had a can.
That's full training then. So, yeah, he's obviously started to taper already,
He's
Sean.
tapering.
I've been getting training videos of Ash McIntosh, and the best I've seen is him hitting a drive off hole 3 at Cotters Line. He has done absolutely no swimming.
From there, you can see the sea, so that that works, right? I love your work, Scully. Well, good luck. Let's hope you can hold on to the title.
We'll see. Hopefully, we'll have a great day nonetheless.
Yes,
It'll be absolutely fantastic. And Scully,
Thank you very much, guys.
You can watch every game of every round with Fox Footy commentary and production, and no ad breaks during play, live and on demand on KO Sports. We'll see Scully there with the big Pav, and we're going to see him in a couple of weeks when we're swimming a Righto together.
Thanks, Scully.
Brilliant, guys. Have a great day.
Legend. Thanks, mate.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
My niece got her P's the other day.
Oh, Nat, what day?
So she got them on Tuesday.
Oh,
so because she was
exciting
home in
for her.
Esperance, so she's at boarding school.
Yep.
She was home in Esperance for the Borders weekend. Took an extra day to do her driver's test. Got the P plates, and then back on the plane to come back to school.
Can I ask you about? All you guys growing up in the country, learned to drive at about 8 years of age, right?
Well, I mean, yes, give or take. And if you're the older child, it tends to be earlier because you get in. But when you're younger, you have to push the others out in order to get a seat. And so because I had two older brothers, didn't get to really start driving till I was about 11 or 12. But yeah, my niece is the oldest, so yeah, she's been.
I'd imagine she'd be so much better than her friends at school and stuff because she's had more experience in doing other stuff.
The advantage of knowing how to change gears, I think.
Yeah.
So lots of kids these days just get their automatic license because you don't have to change gears. But no, she got her manual license because she's got her eye guy on one of the farm utes as her main get-around car. So she was pretty happy about that. But I was talking to another girl yesterday who had her driving test yesterday, and I looked at her and said, "How did it go?" And she said, "I don't want to talk about it." And I went, "Okay, so that tells me everything." But the thing that she failed on, so she did talk about it eventually, was that she did it up at Joondalup, and there was a street that I don't know where it was in particular, but you drive along and it's a street that ends, but you can only turn left at the end of it. So it's a T junction. Imagine a T junction you're coming up, but there's no choice about where you go.
Okay.
You have to turn left. So she didn't indicate, and they pinged her for it. And it's like, she's like, but what else was I couldn't go anywhere else. I couldn't go straight ahead and I couldn't go right. So it's obvious that I'm turning left.
Yes.
Didn't cut it.
Some of the driver's license places. So you've got the one in Belia.
Yes.
You've got the one down in Rockingham.
Yeah, Midland, where I did it. Yeah.
And also in Joondalup as well. So a lot of people know that some places are harder than others, and
Yes.
I'd imagine Joondalup might be up at that next level.
Yeah.
And when you're fighting for a booking and you want to get your
Yes,
license
and-
because your birthdays happen, you've got to take what you can get.
That was the only reason that she went there too, because it was the only booking available. And then when she got home, she went straight on the booking system, and there was nothing available till December. And I mean, cancellations happen all the time,
Yeah, they
so
do.
you just got to stay on it. But it's like, that's a bit devastating. It's like, okay, you failed, and you can't have another crack until Christmas.
Oh,
It's a tough time, and kids are doing it all the time. Because Ollie's got his license now.
yeah,
hasn't
Ollie
he?
got his license in the first go. Cooper before then took a couple of goes.
Yeah.
He's not good at listening to people to start with when,
How many goes
you
did you
shouldn't
take?
go at it. I took 2.
I took 2 too.
I failed my first one. I went too fast down Marmion Street.
This is
East Fremantle.
unsurprising, knowing you,
I
the way
know.
you drive. I did mine at Midland, and I lost points because they take you through some funny little pokey back streets, and they were, unbeknownst to me, uncontrolled intersections where you should slow down and give way to your right, and I just blithely just drove straight through. There was no other vehicles around, but yeah, that was enough to fail, not surprisingly.
There's not too many people who get a first go these days.
No, yeah. So
It's a good effort.
the fact that my niece did it in Esperance, so it's no traffic lights or
Oh,
anything.
yeah, no.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, but she'd be a
Easy.
gun driver, for sure.
Well, she tells me she is. Well done. And if you got your test today, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah,
Good luck,
definitely.
and indicate a lot.
Over-indicate. Over-indicate.
That's my advice to you.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Our boss Dave just walked in here before and we wanted to see if he was in a good mood. He had a few things to say, but apparently on Tuesday, first day in, he was
Furious.
wasn't happy.
No, but today
Hopefully
he had
comes back.
reason that he could have been upset. Sam?
I accidentally parked in his car spot.
That is
my
a
God.
sackable offence.
What are you doing?
I got told to move, and I thought I was the other side.
There's a saga with you and your parking.
I know. I
Are
know.
you asking for it?
Look, I'll park on the street. I don't care, but parking in the boss's spot, that's grounds for termination,
Yeah.
and I'm not out of my probation yet. So I was very nervous when he walked
Very
in.
funny. Why didn't it work out at Nova? I parked in the boss's spot once.
Sam, it's a common mistake. Back in the day, no one was able to park in. Cameron Swab was our CEO at the Fremantle Dockers
Yes.
back in the day. He used to drive this Porsche Boxster, and he'd park it. He'd have a spot. That was it. And then everyone knew the deal. Don't park in
So
Cameron's
it wasn't
spot.
a signed spot. It didn't say
No.
president or whatever.
No, it didn't say that at all, but don't park in his spot. I mean, he's a boss. Don't muck around with him. And Luke Toyer, my old teammate, he used to come in and he'd steal your car keys out of your locker and then get your car and park it in your spot.
Amazing.
Well, I was
That's
gonna,
an amazing prank.
I was going to send someone down to move it, but it's an old clunky manual, so it might be a bit tricky.
Yeah,
So
who's got a manual license
Yeah.
these days?
Oh, the farm
Other
girl
than-
would.
Yeah,
No
me.
worries.
I can. It's been a while since I've driven one, but I can do it. I can do it in the zombie apocalypse, apparently.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
There hasn't been this much attention on southeast Queensland since Leavers. But
No.
this is an even bigger impact, potentially, as Cyclone Alfred bears down.
It's been unbelievable to see the coverage. Obviously, the AFL making their call just the
Yeah.
other day about games going ahead, the NRL trying to move games to Sydney.
Yeah.
But we've been speaking to Lutzi, which we did
Yes.
yesterday, our teammate in Brisbane.
And the thing is, like, a lot of people are like, why is it such a big deal? It's not even that big a cyclone. It's because it's way further south than a cyclone would normally come. So it's essentially as though, imagine somewhere just south of Geraldton being hit by the full brunt of a cyclone.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. And also just accept the massive population in that area. So the number of people that are going to be impacted, and also the fact that there are canals rivers. It's a very wet area, and so the potential for flooding and storm surging is massive. So the impact of this thing could be huge.
Regardless of the winds itself, there's going to be a truckload of
on
rain.
top of that,
rain, and you're so right, Natalie, because of what's happened in the past in Brisbane in particular with the floods. But if you're watching the project last night on Channel 10, you would have seen American rapper Ice Cube on there. Now, he's been over in the Gold Coast, staying for a bit of some time over here.
Yeah.
And he's going to be caught up in this situation.
So this is
he
what
can't
you
just
forget
leave.
about. It's a holiday destination. There are people visiting from all over, and Ice Cube's one of them.
Absolutely. So he's on the project. He's given us an update on how he's seeing things.
Yeah, I'm staying clear of it. It's pretty cool, I haven't been through a cyclone before, so, I can check this off my bucket list. For sure. I'm right here on the beach. The beach look like it's going to be in the lobby in a minute, but I'll go out there and, stand out there,
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be caught up on holiday or in a hotel in this situation.
When you go on holidays, you do book the beachfront accommodation if you can afford it, because it's the fanciest and the nicest, and you've got a beautiful outlook, unless there's a major weather event happening. Yeah. I mean, that would suck. I've never had anything like that happen when I've been overseas. Like, it's the worst thing that happened to me was being stuck in Prague because I couldn't, because of the floods in Dubai, stopped me being able to fly home. But if you're going to be stuck anywhere, Prague's a pretty good place to have an extra couple of nights.
Yeah, natural disasters, every time you turn on the news, there's something going on. The only thing that last year in September when I was over in Bali, there was an earthquake.
Yes.
And I was in bed and it started...
So you felt it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Did you?
Yeah, I was in bed and I was just, it just started shaking. The bed started shaking and I was like... And it woke me up.
Yes.
And then I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then it just kept going. And then I thought, Jesus Christ, that's an earthquake. What am I supposed to do? Do I stand in the...
Yes, what do we do? The doorway, isn't it?
Yeah, do I go to the bathroom?
Get under a table.
Under the doorway. I was a little bit confused.
Do I have a shower? I don't know. I don't know what to do.
And then it stopped and I ended up going out into the hallway and there was a couple of other people out there. Did everyone feel it? Yeah, okay, we all felt it. It's all kind of gone. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure how to react.
I know, because the thing is, because I had the same thoughts when I was in LA on my most recent trip. I had a few days in LA before going to Mexico, and LA, of course, is a earthquake hotspot.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, I'm in a hotel I'm quite high up here. What? And I had to sort of think through what I would do. And then I thought, clearly these sorts of buildings would be built to withstand that sort of thing. But in Bali, if you walk past a construction site in Bali, they're not.
A couple of bamboo sticks holding everything together. And all the workers are there, we always say the Balinese work boots, they're all just in thongs. Having a dart hanging out their mouth, getting to work.
Health and safety, not a high priority on a building site. My brother's family, I think Sam, our digital content guy, were in Japan last year when there was an earthquake.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Around New Year's as well. So a lot of people that went up there skiing, there was a bit of shaky.
I'm not good on those things. We want to talk about if you've been caught in a natural disaster overseas.
Yeah.
So you've been on your holiday, you holed up in the hotel for whatever reason.
Maybe there was some sort of blizzard. You couldn't get out and do anything. A blizzard. God, that just sounds so cozy, doesn't it?
Does sound good,
As long as
is there a negative to a blizzard?
Yeah, if you don't have supplies.
Oh, yeah.
and or the heating goes out.
Yeah, the run out of drinks would be the biggest thing.
Can you imagine if you got cold, Sean?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you don't like the cold. Hunter's in Quinns. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Hunter, how you going?
Okay, talk to us. Where were you and what natural disaster did you get stuck in?
So I was actually in Houston in 2017.
Yeah.
And started to rain pretty heavy. And so I went outside and we were taking some photos with some friends. And then, it turned into that big flood, that big storm.
What did it mean for you whilst you were there?
Oh, so where I was staying was actually all right, but that night I remember we went to like a local church and were part of a group that were receiving donations and stuff, and people were going out in boats and they were rescuing people and bringing them back to us, and we were feeding them, and then for about 2 weeks after that, we spent every single day going through and gutting out the houses that were all affected, and the streets were just lined with rubbish, everything that people owned. It was really sad.
They just put it on the verge and waits to be collected. Hunter, were you there on holidays? This is what you ended up doing for your holiday?
Yeah. I was there visiting a friend and, spent about a month kind of,
volunteering in the end. Yeah.
Hunter, what a great person.
Yeah.
That time helping out people, providing
Yeah.
food and shelter for them.
You're a good guy.
Oh, it was amazing just to see, people were just randomly driving through the streets handing out food to all the workers.
Yeah.
And because there were hundreds of people going throughout the streets just helping out anyone that needed it.
Yeah.
Those last big floods over in Queensland as well, to see, there's Mick Fanning and a couple of the surfing boys, Joel
Yes.
Parkinson getting on the jet skis
Yes,
and going
and
and rescue people.
Yeah.
Imagine if you look out the window right now for us in Hay Street
Yes.
and you're seeing jet skis
I
or
know.
a dinghy going down the middle of the
And it's
street.
Mick Fanning, because there was a woman who was a pharmacist and she needed to get to the pharmacy in order to be able to dispense medication to people that didn't have access to it. And Mick Fanning gave her a ride to work on his jet ski. And you just go, this is just the most bizarre day, right? Oh, thanks, Hunter. You're a good guy.
Yeah.
Emma's in Belden. Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Hey, Emma.
Great, Em. So where were you and then what was the natural disaster? What happened?
We were in Fiji for my 40th and a cyclone came through. So we were one of those hotel rooms right on the water. So we got to watch the whole thing. But it was pretty scary. And we ended up having to stay at the hotel for a number of more days because we were going to an island after that. So they moved us to this other room, which was, oh my gosh, it was leaking. So like everything was wet. All our stuff was wet. We were sleeping on wet beds. It was horrendous. And then we finally got to go to a place called Muscat Cove, and we were the first boat to go out on the water.
Yes.
Since cyclones.
Yeah.
To get to Muscat Cove, and oh my God.
Debris?
It started off. Hold on tight. It started off nice and calm, and then once we got into the open ocean, it was like we were going up sheets of water. Like it was just. My son was oblivious. He was sitting next to me reading a little book, and like there's just at the window, just like crashing, and it was just people vomiting everywhere. All of us Australians were kind of looking around to each other going, should we be worried?
What are we doing? Yeah.
We had all these American tourists calling home saying goodbye to their families. It was so bad, and we're all trying to keep cool because all the kids are starting to freak out.
Yeah,
and we knew it was bad when the actual, Fijian workers on the boat were, starting to kind of walk quite fast past us, moving all
and they were praying a lot.
Bursting it, and, it was manic. And then when we got there, we were the last boat to arrive on the island for quite some days. So, yeah, it wasn't a great trip in terms of that.
But memorable,
ride over the island.
Emma.
Once we got there, it was the most amazing island, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, amazing.
I know, but
I'm
not going
what a way
in
to
those
spend your
seas.
40th.
No,
I know
I couldn't do that.
Because, you do hear of every now and then a ferry sinking in these conditions. It's like you don't want to be on that one. Oh, my God. Thanks, Emma. Kylie's in Southern River. Hello.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Great, Kyles. What happened while you were on holidays?
Well, we went for our 50th, a girlfriend and I, across to France, Greece, Italy, etc.
Yeah. Amazing.
And we were, it was pretty awesome. A long time ago, let's say. We were visiting the Notre Dame, and I went, my girlfriend's a bit frightened of heights, so I left her down the bottom, and I went right up to the very, very top, taking all the pictures, etc. There's a few workmen about the place doing things, and then when you go down, I don't know whether you've been there, you go down this spiralling, really curly spiralling staircase.
Yeah.
I got to the bottom, and all these dudes were running at us with machine guns.
Yes.
And I was just like, shit, what the... Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
What the heck is going on? I thought maybe terrorists. And my girlfriend, my friend down the bottom, she said, let's go. And we raced across to get away, turned back because we saw all this sea of Parisians up the top, all bawling their eyes out, turned around and there's the Notre Dame burning down.
So,
whoa, you'd been in it.
Kylie.
You're up the top and then coming down.
I've got to ask the question. Did you start the fire?
Well, I did go in and light a candle.
Everybody does though, to be fair.
Notre Dame.
But wow, how amazing that you were basically in it as it was burning down.
As it was smouldering, I was in there. And that is a genuine question, Nat, because not too long after that, I was in the Bali supermarket, and that burnt down the next day. And then CYO's O'Connor's. I was nowhere near that, but I lived near it and it burnt down. So
Yeah, we're just there recently, so
Kylie,
it's all refurbed and beautiful at the moment.
Have you ever seen the movie Firestarter, Kylie?
I
Where the little girl starts fires with her eyes when she gets mad. Is that you, Kylie?
Scary. Well, I am fiery.
Rule of threes, I tell you what, that's amazing.
Dodged a couple there.
Yeah, I know. Don't mess with that.
Yeah.
And we're not going anywhere near you. And we're not inviting you to Nova, that's for sure.
No, we're not. Certainly not.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We were talking about things in our little office this morning, and God, Sam,
He
our
was
digital
furious.
content manager, came in. He wasn't happy. Sam, why?
Yeah, look,
Get it off your chest.
Something got up my goat this morning.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there'll be a lot of people out there who can relate. Just little things that your partner does just to set you off. Nothing too bad that it really.
No, he's not doing this on purpose. He's not like
No.
he's trying to annoy you. This is just something that
who
he does
is
on the
as a
reg.
person.
Yeah.
But our PowerPoints are always switched off at the wall, and it doesn't sound like much, but it's things that are always plugged in. So the kettle in the kitchen, something that's never moved in its life, the PowerPoint will always be turned off.
Now, we should point out that your partner is an environmental scientist.
Yes.
So he is thinking about the environment when he's doing this. He's
Always,
reducing
always.
power usage because even things that are on standby are using a tiny bit of electricity.
No, and so I'm looking at ways to get my revenge. I'm extra, single-use plastic here and there. But no, and it's like the one that always gets me is the phone charger.
Yes.
So the phone charger
This
is
is
always plugged in
unforgivable.
the wall. That's always there. That plug is designated just for the phone charger. It will be switched off at the wall. So if you're not paying attention, you go plug your phone and you chuck
which
it,
you
walk
always
away.
do.
Yeah.
Come back, phone's on 3% still.
Yeah.
After an hour of charging.
Furious.
Oh.
Things like if you have a lamp plugged in, but you've turned it off at the switch the lamp switch, it's off. Would he switch it off at the wall as well?
Yeah.
You mentioned the kettle one, and the phone charge is unbelievable because everyone wants to put their thing. But the
Unforgivable.
kettle's the same thing. You press the button down and it heats up. But the toaster is another one at the highest level.
What about the microwave? Because that one gets me because the switch is often
But
behind.
Natalie, I think it's only because
It's inaccessible.
It's inaccessible, but I feel like he would. So, Conrad, if you're listening, pack your bags.
You're gone, man.
I mean, when there's something, once you notice it too, you can't unnotice it, can you? You really, it is.
But it's an effort to turn it off and on all the time. So Conrad's still going to have a cup of tea or use a toaster. He's turning it on.
Yeah, no, he's doing it for the environment and for your energy usage to save 10
it's not
cents.
even, so the other one, electric toothbrush charger.
The
will be
idea
switched off
of
at
it
the wall.
is that it's just constantly charging. Isn't that the point of it?
That's the point.
I don't turn anything off.
No, not in our household. No.
Like hair
I was
dryer's
wondering
still
about
on.
the PowerPoints because I mentioned that to you this morning because they're all on in our house, even with stuff not.
So if there's nothing plugged in, you're saying the switch is on.
Yeah.
I don't think that would make a difference.
Okay, let's hope so.
I don't know. Conrad can call us and tell us. He'll know. But we want to know if there's something that your partner, or maybe it's a workmate, just somebody in your life does. It's nothing major. When you hear it, you go, oh, that's so ridiculously petty. But, oh, my God, it annoys you.
Yeah, it's building up, mate. Time after time.
Yeah, it'll be the
it
thing
isn't
that ends
petty.
you.
It's huge.
Building a
Huge.
case, guys. I'm building a case.
Narelle's in...
Gidgee.
Gidgee, get up.
Oh,
Hey,
morning,
Narelle.
Good morning, guys.
Love the bakery in Gidgee. Well done. What's the thing that really annoys you that somebody does in your life?
Yes, so it's my husband, and it's so super petty, but
Great.
every time he sits, you'll love it. Every time he sits down on the couch cover rides up just a little bit more, and so the corner of it, after a few times, is just almost off. And I'm sitting next to him on another couch, and it just drives me insane because it's just
pull it down.
So frustrating. Yeah, he won't pull it down. No, he won't pull it down. So he sits down really heavily, and the couch cover rides up, and it really just irks me so much.
So the
and
thing
I had
is-
to have words with him the other day.
Yes, and how was it received?
Yeah,
He doesn't
eye rolls and no.
You know why he doesn't care, Narelle? Because when he's sitting on it, he can't see it. You're the one looking at it. He's not looking at it. And also, even if he was looking at it, I doubt he would care, would he, Sean?
He probably wouldn't care.
No,
But
I
I
wouldn't
care.
care.
Ugly, and I want the cover to cover it.
Just to be clear, your irritation with him is that he sits on the couch too heavily.
Too heavily, and the couch cover rides up.
Causing
Yeah.
the riding up.
Now,
of the couch
Tim and
cover.
these guys have been together for a while.
Yeah, how long have you been married, Narelle?
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah, see? It just gets you. It builds up and builds up and builds up.
It's what keeps you together.
Pretty petty, right?
Just
Yeah.
shared resentment.
That's
Well
what we
done.
want.
Thanks, Narelle. Shanae, hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Okay,
Sinead.
Shanae, get it off your chest. Who are we complaining about first of all?
My partner, when he makes the bed, which I'm thankful for, by the way,
But?
he will make it with the buttons at the top, not at the bottom.
Of the doona, you mean?
Doona.
Yeah, and it really just drives me crazy. Like, I know it's not that big of an issue.
No, it is. They don't belong at the top.
No, I totally agree, Sinead. I wouldn't stand for that.
No.
Honestly, I think it drives me freaking crazy.
Do you think he's doing it so that you eventually say, don't worry, I'll make the bed myself?
Well, no, he will make the bed and then I'll go and change it. And he's like, it's fine, like, we'll fix it later. And I'm like, oh, okay, like that, but it doesn't go that way.
No.
He's like, but why? It's still made, it's still neat. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't go that way. He's like, you can't even tell. And I'm like, you're right, you can't tell. So it's easier to just leave it with the buttons up the top until I go to sleep and then I'll change
I mean,
it
you say
around.
easier, but you're full of resentment about it.
I don't see if you're going to make the bed and do it properly, and you do it every
Yeah.
time. Why would you be bother putting the buttons up there? Because you'd see it and you go, even
You
if
just
you can
quickly
tuck
turn it
down,
around.
just turn it around.
But how much you messing up the bed that every day you are rearranging it, Sinead, so that the buttons are at the bottom, and then when he remakes it, the buttons are magically back up the top again.
Well, I kick the blanket off and then he puts it on and then I
Yep.
kick it off. So
Yeah.
I'll just kick it around and then...
You guys are
he just
thrashing
picks it
around.
up and, yeah, he just picks it up and throws it across the bed and I'm like, oh, cool. But, like, I pay attention to where the buttons
Yeah.
are. So
No, because there's a
really-
rightful place for the buttons.
There
you're
is a
right.
rightful place.
Oh.
No, we're on
And I
your
thought
side,
it was
Sinead.
near my face.
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry for your suffering, Sinead. Thank you. All right, 13 24 10. Let's take more of these. Get it off your chest. Sarah's in Parkerville. Hello.
Hi, how you going?
Good, Sarah. Sarah, are you complaining about what your husband does as well?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So first of all, how long have you been married?
Coming up 20 years.
Okay, right. That seems to be right in the zone for when these things really kick in.
sure.
What does he do that is just so irritating?
So whatever he drinks, whether it's a glass, cup, stubby can, he leaves just a tiny mouthful in the bottom.
Okay, you know, that is irritating. That
They
is
used to call that
irritating.
the Terry Sullivan.
Yes, yeah.
Just a tiny little bit, so that, just enough so if you knock it,
Yes.
a little bit of stickiness on your hand,
Yes.
and it's just a little thank you at the very end for cleaning up afterwards.
Yeah, it's like, why can't he just have that last bit? Come on.
Yeah, I've even tried to train him with the can. Just bend the can a little bit to get that last mouthful. No, 20 years.
Wow.
Well, you got to get that last mouthful of beer. Maybe it's because it gets warm at the bottom. Does it all drink?
I mean, drink it faster, first of all.
Yeah.
But also get your money's worth.
Get
You're
your money's
leaving
worth,
money
yeah.
in the can. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, divorce him, Sarah. Thank you. Rachel's in Mount Rishon. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Great, Rach. Okay, are you complaining about your husband too?
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
6 years.
Oh, only 6. This is, you're still fresh. Okay, what does he do that is very annoying?
He takes my key hook, like where you hang your keys at the end of the day.
Yes.
He takes mine. Yeah, so I like the one right next to the door, and he takes that one, so I have to move over like 7 centimetres to use the other hook.
No, this is an outrage. But the thing about that is that then when you absentmindedly go to leave in the morning, you pick up the wrong keys, don't you?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And have you labelled it?
No, it
Shouldn't
should
have
just
to.
be
Yeah.
clear knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. So why does he do it? Have you confronted him?
Oh, he just doesn't think about
Yeah,
it.
no.
And, like, I've mentioned it before, and he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. But, yeah.
This is the sort of level of chaos that where you just, like, one day you'll go to bed and he'll be lying on your side at this rate. Like, where will it stop? Can you imagine?
No, that's a hard limit. That's never happened.
That's divorceable.
That is so funny, the sides and stuff like that. And I know what you're talking about, Rach, with the keys. But the side of the bed, even when you go away and travel with something, no, that's my side.
Yeah.
Like,
Every now and then there's a TikTok where people go, oh, no, we switch up all the time. It's like, what? How do you even do that? Like, I sleep on the same side of the bed and I sleep alone.
I know.
I'm not going to sleep on the other side. I can't. It's not possible. There's a big vacant space there, by the way. Anyway,
Yeah, just anyone
Stacey's in Piara Waters. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Stace, P. Wart. Hello. What is it about your partner that really? What do they do that annoys you?
So when I do the washing, underwear and socks have holes in. They need to be thrown out. I refuse to wash them. He will purposely put them back in the washing on top and then has a big meltdown if I put them in the bin. And they're at the point where you can't actually wear them.
Yeah,
guys have this thing that they're connected to undies and socks. They'll just get like I'm one of those guys, and I have been for a long time. Oh no, we'll get another wear out of them. No,
it's not right, is it? I can't even. Stacey, I'm with you on this. It's gross. First of all,
and he doesn't understand. He's like, what's wrong with them?
Yeah, well, they've got holes in them. What
there's
more?
There's nothing in there. Like, you can't actually
There's
wear
nothing
them.
in there.
Yeah.
There's more hole than jock.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You'll feel the breeze.
And my two sons do the same.
Oh, you've bred more of them. This is no good. This is no good. I'm sorry. How long have you been together?
We just had our 18th
Yeah.
year anniversary.
God, that would have worn you down. 18
Yeah, I
years,
know. There's many more to come too, Stace. Good luck. Good luck putting up with that. You shouldn't have to. This is an outrage.
We had so many callers who wanted to get on there and barely a male.
Women. All women. Did you notice that? All women with husbands.
Well, it just shows you the men don't complain. They just don't complain. They just get on with life.
Or they're just
Once
the
again.
perpetrators.
Just don't complain.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Time for us to get out of here. Tomorrow, though, a bit of a special show ahead of International Women's Day on Saturday.
Yes.
We're going to have a lot of amazing women, including the Fremantle AFLW coach, Lisa Webb.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to speak to Lisa. Caitlin Bassett, our netball superstar, will join us.
Plus, you'll hear from Susanna Carr, Abby Holmes.
Fair lineup,
I know, right?
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.